Wait, who saved who at the start?
Fergus.
No, Fergus is alive. I'm not Fergus.
Alright. Who did?
Me, our character. But Wyatt is who died. Because he's like a robot and shit, and he's like, I'm sorry, like, Captain, like, I can't control my actions, please, this isn't...
Fergus, right?
No, Fergus is a different person.
What's the name of your character?
Like, fucking...
So Fergus is still alive at the end of the game, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's good. I was going to say, if you're Fergus and you save them at the start, you put from the
No, but like...
Alright, so yeah, what code stuff do you have unlocked?
I have a trowel, armor, and gold pot. So I'm missing the third one. Hey, can I ask you a question?
Mm-hmm.
Last stream was like the stream I focused on for the main story, right?
Yeah.
Should I move that down? Should I move that to the, like, when I stopped playing and like yeah, I can just add it, play it, and you can change where. And it's like, I like to add it to like when it was like streamed and shit, right? But should I move? Yeah.
I get that. I think it should be fine where it is. Actually, I don't know.
Cause like, so it's just like order and shit.
Yeah, put it in order.
Cause like, I like adding it for when it was streamed. I don't know how pain in the ass it's going to be. Right, so let's have a shotgun. No. A shotgun. And then have the alternative be this, right? Because I want to save these for the big ones. Because I'm looking, because I know I can save up to 5. Yeah, see, now we have 4. Wait, 4? Okay, so we got knives and shit. What are you doing?
It feels like earaches in my ear. No, I can't hear it in my left ear, so I'm trying to remove it.
That's what, like, the thingy moves are for.
Yeah, but they do.
Shit.
Back. What's this the area?
Huh?
Is this the area?
Nope. See? Me, no. I'm more exhausted in a sense because I'm more worried that like shit is gonna like you know, just turn off and shit.
We should celebrate your victory finishing game by watching your working video.
I don't know, Bing is a piece of shit. I genuinely fucking hate Bing.
That's fine.
And it's like, I don't want you to buy
Oh, here. I guess I'm gonna have to avoid the why not? Probably never gonna get to watch it. Alright, let's send that bucket in front of you.
Here?
Yep.
A heart of gold. There we go. Sweet. You are kinda late, my friend. Okay. Let me get to the next. I know it doesn't matter, but it's like. Let me get to the next autosave. There we go. I thought it was like after this part. Okay, let me exit and save. I love it. It's like, are you sure you want to quit? Any progress since last checkpoint will be lost, and proceeds to save anyway. So now, I'm like, you can either stay or not. I'm gonna read the notes and listen to the audio logs.
But probably won't be able to hear it. Probably good.
Fair enough. Okay, let me take a sip of my cover to you. Oh, and it, like, that's so cool. Even reads down the notes. To Henrich Schwartz. Tonton Kampf Straffel Nars 13. Dar is Zalaman. Oh, I thought it was all going to be in German. 5th of the 8th, 1946. Dear Henrich, I hope this letter finds you well. I'm sitting outside on the porch of the hospital where I'm recovering from my wounds. A good-looking nurse rolled me out of here so I could write to you. A volunteer from Monarch. She tells me, here's in Dar es Salaam. Afternoon is drawing near. A chilled breeze comes in from the sea, and the breeze comes a smell of fish and rotting seaweed, and the almost unbearable stench from the burning bodies by the shoreline. The view of the land from this location is absolutely gorgeous. I have found Africa to be, in many ways, a wondrous place. It has an air of freedom, a sense of adventure, if you will. I wish you would experience it with me, Henrich. I have also seen things I wish I could have unseen. Remember how I told you once that I would never regret my decision to quit my education and join the army? To be honest, in the grimiest of moments, I have cursed my decision. I still ponder this, but if I hadn't left the university, would I still not have felt as lost and aimless as I did? Speaking of which, how is Elsa? Have you spoken to her at all? Have you seen her? On campus perhaps? On the street? Or by the river where we used to fish? Maybe I should not ask this, but I do think of her when darkness falls over the desert. It's comforting. The violence can be tough to handle. Some of the men are losing it. They say we shouldn't even be here, and I understand why they say this, especially the less experienced ones. They're afraid, you see, afraid of the guerrilla soldiers, the primitives. A month ago we were out in the desert. I was piloting my wolf tank. We were 4 men in the tank. Me, Hasselwolf, Gunther, and Kellerman. Have you seen these tanks? They come straight out of General Strauss's workshop. They're fueled by nuclear reactors and armed with state-of-the-art weaponry. A troop of wolf tanks can decimate an entire village in the blink of an eye. However, the one thing these machines of war can't handle is abundant in the desert sand. We didn't see it coming. Somewhere close to the Tangan border, a dust storm blew up out of nowhere. Within minutes, everything was covered in sand. It got in the engines, through the cracks in the hull, and caused the tank to malfunction. Suddenly, we found ourselves stranded. We had no choice but to set up camp. There were 20 of us in our squad. We took turns guarding the perimeter. I was awoken by a blood-curdling scream in the middle of the night. I ran outside. The camp was in a state of absolute chaos. My men were running like headless chickens, while dark men, primitive, dressed in stripes of leather, face painted red, and whites of their eyes glow in the darkness, leaped across the camp and gutted and slashed our men. I saw Gunther eviscerated where he stood. He tried to hold his guts in, but they slipped through his fingers. One of the primitives came at me from nowhere and stabbed me in the stomach. I managed to grab my gun and shoot him dead. I pulled the knife out and crawled away from the scene. They ran across the desert, the terrible screams haunting me through the night. I was told they kept some of them alive to torture while the dead were hung upside down, disemboweled, and their sexual organs cut off and shoved down their throats. So you understand that a lot of men here, they are beginning to lose their moral, and to a degree that is understandable. I, however, will not surrender to these feelings of weakness, no matter how tempting they may be. I will stand by my beliefs and the ideals of our leaders. We are the strong race, and there can be no room for anyone but us. I hope you still feel the same way I do. Your friend. P.S. If you see Elsa, tell her that I still love her. D.S. Okay, how many? Okay, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so there's not many letters. That's good. And I'm guessing that last one was from a German soldier. I should be warning that these notes maybe, I don't know if they're going to be racist, but you know, with how Nazis and shit like that are, just a heads up is all I'm saying, right? So these notes may have, I'm not gonna, like, if there's any slurs and shit, I'm not gonna say the slurs, but you know, like, so it's just giving a racist vibe, I guess, but you know, so just a heads up. To Frau, I'm not gonna say the whole name. Berlin Institute of Moving Pictures, October 1960. Oh shit. Dear Ivoni, I will not be so promiscuous as to believe you will remember me. Presumptuous, sorry. My name is Zabalia Brusquai, and we grew up in the same city on the border between Germany and Poland. In those days, you lived with your parents in the Frankfurt of der Oder, and I lived on the other side of the river in Demvorstrated. What stirred me to write you was that I saw your movie, The Gift of Our Fatherhood, yesterday, and I was overcome by emotions. Do you remember how we used to swim together in the Oder River after school? How you always made me laugh with the characters you played. You were always so theatrical, so playful. I should have known you'd become an actress, I guess. Oh, so, okay. I don't know why I thought that it was a guy talking to a guy. You remember how I moved away from home to study chemistry? Well, after the war, I couldn't get a job at the university because all the positions were taken by the Germans. My parents had passed away, and it was pure chance that... Wait. Headphones around my neck, can't hear you. And it was pure chance I met a sweet couple up by the coast. They told me about their asylum for the mentally ill, and the woman, who is a pharmacist, offered me a job as her assistant. Her name is Rosa Olwa, and she treats me well. She and her husband, Kreisakov, are remarkable people. I've been very fortunate. Nearly 13 years I've worked here now. I even became a very good friend with their daughter, Anya, who also works here as a nurse. Sometimes we go to the movies together. I like her a lot. Pardon me. The Olwas have been forced to work for a German commander called Death's Head. Or is it Death's Shed? I can't tell. Sometimes his men come and take patients away. If they come back, they are never the same again. I feel so awful for them. Anyway, if you happen to pass by here, I would be honored to have you as my guest. Maybe I can cook you dinner and we can share a bottle of wine and talk about the old times. I live by myself. I never married or had kids. These days in a small house by the coastline. It's windy, but beautiful. You will find the address on the back of the envelope. Yours truly, Isabella. Thank you for your letter, but I've been thinking about the question you asked me last time we met. Why has our dear Anya not married yet, you asked? Well, I think you are asking the wrong questions. Have you had a real, honest, heart-to-heart conversation with your daughter lately? Do you know just how she feels about what is going on at the asylum? We have heard all the dark rumors about General Deathshead's men and their visits to the clinic. We know what has been happening over there, my child. Anya came around yesterday with the groceries we asked for. Thank you for that. Olenka served her some coffee and Paxsky. While she ate, we tried to speak to her. How was life for her at the asylum? Did she have any friends? Normal questions, but she was not very talkative. She mumbled her answers. My hearing is not so good these days, and avoided eye contact with us. In fact, I could see that dark shadow had fallen upon her eyes, as a mournful ghost had possessed her. She is... Sorry, I don't know why. That photo scared the shit out of me. She is heartbroken. Don't you understand, Rosa? Over what happened in that place. Over what is happening to all of us. Do you really think she has time, with this darkness filling her soul, to search for her husband? You have to talk to her. Listen to what she has to say. Anya has a fighting spirit. I know you do too. I remember it from when you were a child. It's time for you and your husband to take a stand, don't you think? My little Rosa, it's been so long since I've seen you. Please come visit your old folks soon. We miss you. Your loving father, Roman. P.S. I found this picture of you as a child when I was cleaning out the attic the other day. Thought you would want it. P.P.S. I will send this letter with the milk delivery boy to avoid the censors. If you send me a letter back, give it to him. He is a good boy. Oh, so this is the grandparents. Okay, I got it. To Father Helmut Hoffman, the Berlin Church of the Third Ranch, Ayacucho, Peru, 5th of the 8th, 1955. Dear Father Helmut, did you know that in the mythology of the indigenous groups of Peru, the Quench people, there's a figure called the Pishtaku, or the Butcher. They described him as a white murderer, dressed in a poncho and wide-brimmed hat, carrying a sickle, who extracts the fat from the bodies of the quinches he kills. It may sound strange, but I think it speaks volume of the relationship between the indigenous people of this land and the Spanish conquerors who came here long ago. I've been thinking about the Pishtaku more and more recently, with an accompanying anger brewing in my heart. A month ago, I lived close to a family of quinches here in the Ayacucho. How the fuck? I'm butchering these names and I apologize. Oh, words, not names, words. Trying to convert them to the Roman Catholic faith. I became friends with the youngest child of the family, a boy named I thought that said, shut the fuck up. Hatstu, which apparently means birds of Andes. Hatstu has been my guide in all things relating to the culture of the Quanches. It's quite fascinating, even though I weep for them that they may never come to paradise unless they convert to the true faith. 2 weeks ago, I climbed the mountains of Andes together with the Hatstu to visit the sacrificial grounds of the Apos, the mountain gods. The view from up there was breathtaking. What little breath I had left after that steep climb, I was to be an observer during this ritual to the gods, which involved the sacrifice of a llama. I was to take notes and record their strange rituals and paraphernalia thereof. Then our soldiers came. I remember a quenched salmon calmly walking up to the officer in charge. The officer leveled a gun at his head and shot him clean through. I shouted at them, "What are you doing?" He said, "Stay out of this, father. This is a sanctioned purge." They started killing indiscriminately, killing everything that walked or tried to crawl away to safety. I managed to get Hatstu to run away before one of the soldiers knocked me out with the butt of his rifle. I woke up and there were no Quanches left in Ayacucho. They were just gone. I searched for Hatstu, but I couldn't find him. Either he was found and shot, or he managed to stay hidden up in the mountains. It pains me to see all these atrocities committed by my people. I'm reminded once again of the Pishtaku, the white murderers who come here and slaughter these people for their own evil purposes. Can you speak to someone, Helmut? Someone who can put a stop to this nonsense, this barbaric nonsense. It cannot go on. In the name of the Lord. I have packed my bags, brought warm clothes and sturdy shoes. I've even gotten a hold of a gun for protection. Tonight I will go up into the mountains and search for my friend Hatsu, and I hope to see a new dawn when I return. Wish me luck. Your devoted friend, Father Edmund Cougar. Well, fuck. Charlotte, do you remember the red cat? How it begged by our window and how you fed it shrimps? Or the snail on the porch who fell down the table onto your knees? Do you remember the sunny side of Primrose Hill, the broken glass of Clapham Pride, and the nursery school, the one you said our politicians killed? Do you remember how your smile turned into tears, how My apologies. Do you remember how your smile turned into tears? How you flew and flew into my arms and laughed and kissed music into my ears? Do you remember how your anger turned into fear? How you listened and listened to talks and talks, and how all the promises disappeared? Do you remember the red cat? How it craved and how it came back every day? I think it belonged to Miss Calloway. I'm not sure, but it would explain why it didn't when she moved away. Do you remember Monai's smile? How she laughed and laughed at this clownish snail? How she ran down the slope of Primrose Hill, and her first taste of beer in her eyes when blood appeared? Or outside the playground, tears and hugs and all the hugs, and how she danced into the air, and how I love you, dear. How I love you, dear. What the fuck is this, German Dr. Seuss? I'm 8 years old and I dance on the edge of the white chalk cliff of Rügen. The sun is in my eyes, the salty wind in my curly blonde hair. I stop by the Weiser Klinken, dangling my legs over the edge as I watch the azure coastline of the Baltic Sea. It sparkles beneath the clear blue sky. 10 years later, I sit underneath a big oak tree on the Berlin University campus, surrounded by friends, and they're talking and laughing. I'm grown up now. The boys stare at my body, I can tell, but I'm looking at someone else. I sit in the back of the movie theater, my arm around the shoulder of a dark-haired girl. We kiss in the dark, and I put my hand on her breast. I want her to be my girl. I want to walk her home. We're naked on the wrinkled sheets of her bed, entangled and withering. My face is flushed, and my eyes are closed, and my body is trembling with pleasure. It feels like I'm touching perfection. We share a cigarette afterwards by the window overlooking... I'm not even going to try and say that. I'm in a smoky cafe beneath Unter den Linden, holding a copy of my first book, discussing politics and philosophy with my friends. Outside, uniformed men ready their guns. I hear the door slam open. I run through the Berlin night, blood and brain matter in my hair and on my face. I climb up ladders, up the walls of this concrete hell. I'm the prosecutor, the misfit, the unwanted blood of Germana. I stand in church, and the SS officer in front of me puts a ring on my finger. We've created a pact, he and I, a lavender marriage to draw off the scent. My dark-haired lover, the bridesmaid, is smiling at me from the back, and I smile back at her. Wait, so is this person marrying someone that's not the lover to protect himself? What the fuck? I lie on a hospital bed and I scream as I push one last time. The baby slips out of my body, covered in blood and the waxy white substance, as they place him in my arms, the umbilical cord still connected to my womb, feeling warm against my stomach. My words fail to describe how I feel. Okay, I got a question, right? So let's say, you know, even if the umbilical cord like is cut off from the baby, where the fuck does the umbilical, do you just yank the rest of it out, or sorry, but you get what I mean, right? Where exactly does that go? Does it just shrivel back inside and like goes to the side ready for the like the next child to feed? I'm sorry, that sounds so fucking gross. I'm sorry, I'm just very confused. I run through the park with my 3-year-old son. Though a cloud of misfit from the mermaid fountain, and I feel like I'm a child again. I almost forgot that the ache in my heart, the fear that I harbor of ill deeds to come, and changing of times. I scream with despair, and my face is wet with tears, and my eyes are bright red. 2 police officers are holding my arms. My husband's eyes are downcast, surrounded, and his arms are cuffed behind his back. Paragraphs 175, they say. In the corner stands my lover with her arms wrapped around our son. I try to forget the frightened look on their faces. I'm dragged out the door. I'm so fucking confused, right? So, at first I thought the person was a girl, and the guy, the person she likes was a guy. Then it's like said, oh, then I thought the person they like is a girl and they're a guy. Now, what the fuck? Do they have 2? Are they not ambiguous? That's not the word, but you get what I mean. Like polymantrous. My husband's eyes are downcast, surrounded. Okay. The corner says, my lover with her arms wrapped. So she has a husband and a lover. So polymantrous, or whatever it's called. I try to forget the frightened look on their faces as I'm... Oh, shit! Okay, just wait. Okay, let me test if the audio's working. Just wait. Testing audio. Testing audio. Okay, audio is fine. I was a bit worried there because I didn't know, because sometimes it like to end shit and not tell me, so I would feel bad if I don't read this, or if I read it and there's no like actual, you know. I try to forget the frightened look on their faces as I'm dragged out the door. I lie here in the bunk bed in Camp Balka, and I'm coughing up blood. My hands are broken from the toil in the limestone quarry, and I've not eaten in days. Sometimes I meet new friends, but one after the other they die away, and I'm left alone again. The wind blows cold, freezing my bones. I close my eyes, imagine my son's soft hand slipping into mine, his warm body lying next to me, and we lie in the grass with the sun in our eyes and the wind in our hair on the white chalk cliff of Rugen. Oh, is this the dude that I didn't get the medicine fast enough and he... Oh. That hurts. Fuck. Oh. Oh shit. Charlotte Wolfenstein confirmed canon. East London, 4th October 1948. My dear Bobby, it's Saturday night and the bombs have barely stopped falling when I sit down to write this letter. I'm on the roof of the building where the electuary fire service has set up a fire station. I'm drinking a cup of coffee and smoking a cigarette. I can still hear the klaxons ringing in my ear and the whistling sound of the bombs make as they fall from the sky. From up here, I can see across London, even in its ravaged state, still so ordinarily beautiful, isn't it? Old and rough and grimy, my home and my heart. Thank you for your letters, my love. I can't begin to tell you how much they mean to me. I hope my reluctance to reply has not caused you to worry. The reason for this is, and this may sound strange, that I don't want to write untruthfully to you. I feared I might upset you with my words. However, the truth is better than nothing at all. Wouldn't you agree? So this is the truth. London is burning. Smoke plumes rises from the city like pillars of the earth, keeping the sky from crashing down. The all-night bombardment have been unrelenting, and each day has been a renewed struggle to hang on to every thread of hope one can find. How can people go in the face of such remorseless determination, such senseless killing? I don't know, but I am thankful that they do. I'm still covered in soot. I can feel the smoke in my lungs. They said women were not supposed to fight the fires, just manage communications and work in mobile canteen vans and such. But things have changed. An hour ago, I was in the Canning Town here in East London, the Catholic school. Do you know it? The school took such a terrible hit during the recent bomb raid, and we were there trying to put out the fires. The fire raged as if the very gates of hell had opened up. I was holding the fire hose together with Susie Tuckfield, and I saw children stumbling out of the ruins covered in blood and ash. I heard tiny voices crying out from the inside of the burning building. One of my colleagues, Brittany, went in to save a little girl on the second floor, but she never came out. She was such a sweet girl. During the last month, we have lost 3 of our fellow firefighters, all good friends of mine. But life goes on, as it must. At night, everyone in the neighborhood goes down to the nearby bunker. Old William McKinley has turned into a bar. My bad. People come there to rejuvenate themselves with drinking and singing. It's quite strange to see life continuing as if nothing happened while the bombs are falling around us. There's Londoners for you, isn't it? Last night I dreamt of little Johnny again. We were together on the fairground in Brighton, where we used to go during the summer. Do you remember? I was kneeling down beside him by the edge of the pier, and we looked out at the sea, and you were standing behind me. It was so blue, Bobby, so blue, like sparkling sapphires, calm, and no one spoke or worried about the war. I held the palm of my hand against Johnny's cheek, and he was eating spun sugar and laughed when a spray of water from the breaking waves hit his face. When I woke up, I could still feel the soft skin of his cheek against my palm, like a phantom sensation. I cried for a long time, Bobby. There's not a day goes by that I don't think of him. When you come home, when all this is over and we are together again, I want us to move out into the country then, like we've always dreamed we would. Even if we are poor now, we can make it together somehow. I truly believe that. I must go now. I can hear the sirens. I'll post this letter on the way out. Promise to send you more. I miss you so bad, Bobby. Come home to me. All my love, Charlotte. Dear Grandma, Daddy and me left Mommy at the train station because she had to find my brother. Then the thunder came and everyone got scared, but Daddy said it would be okay. We went into a cave under the city with lots of other people. Some of them were pushing me, but Daddy got mad and yelled at them. I have Teddy with me, but he has lost an eye, and there is no hospital here, so the doctors can't fix him. I don't know how long we will be down here. Will you come and visit us someday? I think your strawberry marmalade is the best, especially on toasted bread with lots of butter. Here's a drawing of me and Dad and Mom and Jacob. Love you, Ingrid. Yo, this is fucking garbage, kid. Get better. Like, god damn, this is fucking horrible. This is shit. To das Ranch. What? Ranch. I'm not gonna even pronounce that fucking name. Greetings! I've read your newspaper the other day that you are now accepting contact ads. Being an adventurous kind, I decided to give this a shot. Here is my ad. Dear future wife, I am a tall, handsome space marine currently stationed on the moon. I have highly successful career. My award includes the Long Service Award, the Knight's Cross of Bravery, and the General Assault Badge. Back on Earth, I live in an exclusive apartment near the center of Berlin. Being hugely successful in my career, I plan on one day moving to a house on the countryside. But sometimes, in space, it gets lonely without having a wife to come home to. Are you a cute young girl who likes to cook and clean? Do you have hips suited for bearing many children? 4, 5, 6? Maybe even 12? Are you tired of pursuing your own goals and the pressure of success? You want to settle down as a homemaker? Then join me on a romantic date when I get back from my 6-month-long space mission. I will show you the greatest time you have ever had in your life. Your future husband, Osbit Dieter. That's it. Please send all applications to Crew Model 4, Box 7562489, The Moon. Sincerely, Obist Dieter Bachamar. It's kind of sad because, like most of these people, right? I'm pretty sure it adds depth to the characters and stuff, but I'm pretty sure I killed most of these people on my way to try and stop Death Shed. So it's like, Max, 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 Max. Very insightful. Okay. Let's listen to this together.
It's in Polish, but I'll translate. Ramona writes, May 11th, 1940. I've only been back home for 3 days, and now the Nazis have arrived in town. They killed Jakub Brozek. He was shot in the head. His horse was blocking the road. He taught me how to French kiss. I'm going to do something about this situation.
That's a lot of entries. Okay, no worries, no worries.
May 12th, 1940. The Nazis have taken over the police station. They're asking local people to volunteer for service. I'm going to volunteer. I'm going to find a way to kill them. May 18th, 1940. Daytime, I care for the sick working at the asylum. On the evenings, I go to town to prepare supper for the Nazis at the police station. They seem to trust me. I think I can lure one of them away. If I can get a Nazi alone, I think I can kill him. I have never killed anyone. I don't know how to fight or fire a weapon. I will have to be smart about it. I miss the university. Perhaps what I'm about to do will be a learning experience. June 25, 1940. The Nazi appears to have a very high opinion of his mother. I learned this as he was bleeding to death at the end of my knife in the outhouse next to the bakery. Mutti, Mutti, he whimpered. My hands were shaking. Nearly dropped my knife. I had told him I would kiss him, and he let me lead him outside, into the night. November 29th, 1940. The Nazi appears to love his sausage. I learned this as he kept on eating his supper, even though the cyanide must have ruined the flavor. His eyes rolled back, all white, yet he kept chewing. The cyanide I stole from my mother's cabinet. At times, I am struck with pangs of remorse. But then, I think of Jakub Brozek. Ramona writes, May 2nd, 1941. The Nazi appears to become sleepy after climaxing. I learned this as his little soldiers were leaking out of me onto his sheets.
Oh.
His face turned blue. From the rope I applied to his neck in his slumber. Tomorrow is my 18th birthday.
Oh.
May 29th, 1941. The Nazi appears to have been brought up lazy. I've learned this when I outran 3 of them carrying a crate of grenades. I think I'm pregnant. I wish I knew how to use a gun.
Oh.
Ramona
It just
writes,
keeps getting
July
worse.
6th, 1941. The Nazi appears to be overly devoted to his police station. I learned this while tossing grenades into the building. 7 grenades went in, but not a single Nazi came out. Does killing Nazis make me a murderer? Don't know. Don't think so. I'm not a soldier, but this is what soldiers do. And I have to steel myself from emotion, like a soldier does. August 9th, 1941. The Nazi appears to be highly gullible. I learned this as I pretended I was drowning and he dove in to save me, body armor and all. I had only to apply the gentlest of pressures to push him down until he stopped struggling. I am pregnant. It's not showing, but I think mother suspects. I've decided to find an apartment for myself. August 30th, 1941. I have my own apartment 2 floors above the bakery. I can't have this Nazi baby inside me anymore. It has to come out. I took some pills from my mother's cabinet. They did not work. All they did was make me sick. Ramona writes, September 3rd, 1941. The Nazi appears to be a reckless driver. I learned this after I cut his brake line and his car went over a cliff as he drove down the mountain. I didn't see it happen, but there was a picture in the paper. I had a friend at the university who successfully terminated her pregnancy through consumption of pennyroyal oils. I have written her for instructions.
It's just like, it appears that, just like, it's like a Home Alone, just wait. Coyote, She's saying like these are obvious, but like, it's like, just like, the Nazi seems clumsy after I tied his shoelaces together and he fell into the dragon-sized bear trap, ripping him in half. It's just like, I'm pretty sure anyone would be a reckless driver if you cut their fucking brake lines.
September 13th, 1941. A letter arrived from London today. I have procured a vial of pennyroyal oil. I have stolen some antibiotics from Mother. I won't be coming to work tomorrow. September 14th, 1941. Pain unbearable. Won't stop bleeding. Ramona writes, September 20th, 1941. Still alive. The Nazi baby is gone. After the weekend, I go back to work. I have patients to tend to. I have Nazis to kill. January 5th, 1942. The Nazi appears to have poor reaction time. I learned this as I ran him over at the red light. I don't know what came over me. It was the middle of the day and people were looking. I drove away as fast as I could. I have to reduce the rate of my attacks or they will catch me.
It's just like, oh, this Nazi has poor vision apparently. I learned this when I hit him with my car. Apparently he was blind as well. He had a canine unit.
July 9th, 1943. The Nazi appears to be made of bacon. I learned this as 9 of them burned alive inside a late-night establishment. A lot can be accomplished with padlocks and gasoline. Father could smell the gasoline on my coat. I lied to him. He mustn't know what I have done. He's too sensitive. July 4th, 1944. The Nazi is a hopeless romantic. I learned this while smashing his skull using the hammer I had hid behind my back as he knelt to pick up my fallen glove. If I was a boy, Father would have taught me how to handle a rifle. But instead I was trained to nurse the afflicted, dig dirt for relics and write papers. I wish I knew a soldier. He could teach me how not to feel remorse. He would understand me. September 23rd, 1946. A man came in today. Horrible head trauma. He has scars all over him. He won't speak. No one knows where he's from. I think he's a soldier, but not a Nazi. I wish he could talk to me. He has a strength about him.
Oh, that's me! She's talking about me!
July 10th, 1948. The war is over. The Nazis have declared victory. People are celebrating the peace. I can't stop crying. For me, this war is never ending. November 16th, 1951. The Nazi appears to have a hot temper. I learned this as I attempt to smash his head with a flower pot I dropped from my apartment window. Sadly, I missed. He had friends nearby. They broke my door down. I said it was an accident, but they gave me a black eye and spit on my dress. I want people on my side I can rely on. My grandparents are on my side, but they are not fit to fight. July 17th, 1955. The Nazi appears to be a choosy bachelor. I learned this as we sat on a picnic blanket in the meadowlands. He said he would kiss me if I bleached my hair blonde. I was nauseated by his request, but as long as I smile and hide the hate, no one is suspicious of me. So he drank the wine I spiked with sedatives, and I rolled him down a shallow grave.
I thought she was going to say laxatives, just makes him uncontrollably shit himself.
December 24th, 1956. My heart is breaking. Friends I've known my whole life have all become Nazis. Mother and father are not happy about it, but they comply rather than resist. I feign my smile and act cheerful, but I have started to resent my own parents. I am 33 years old. I am all alone in the world. May 6th, 1957. I should keep fighting, but who is there to fight? Everyone is a Nazi now, or at least they pretend to be. I can no longer tell the difference. August 28th, 1960. Death's Head's men are coming by the asylum every other week. They are taking people that have been in my care for years. I look the other way. I hate them. I hate myself for giving up, but I can't fight alone anymore. I watch the man with the scars. I whisper things to him. Sometimes I can see some part of him is awake. I wonder if he can see me. I will not let them take him. That was the last entry, William. Some of the things in this diary happened a long time ago. And some of them may have happened to me. I miss you. I missed you a long time before I met you.
What the fuck? So, from my understanding is that this diary was from my, not mine, but my lover's cousin? You know, I'll read these as well. Fuck it, why not? BJ Blazkowicz, 1946. BJ is a special operative of the OSA, Office of Secret Action, sent on a special assignment against the Nazi regime. Since his last encounter with General Deathshed, which resulted in the death of a resistance leader, Caroline Beaker, he's been eager to get revenge. Fergus Reid, born and raised in the Scottish Highlands, Fergus Reid's childhood was defined by poverty and hardships. Early on, he developed a cynical outlook on life. Sarcasm became a tool finely honed for dealing with the cruelty of fate. At age 16, Fergus found a job at the Glasgow shipyard, where he would remain until the Depression of the 30s hit Scotland hard, and he was made redundant after years of scraping by. The war broke out, and Fergus moved to Perth in central Scotland. There he trained as a aviation mechanic before an alcohol-induced bet got him promoted to airman. Panzerhut 1946. The Panzerhut is one of the first prototype robots coming out of General Deathshed's workshop. It was first deployed in the Eastern Theater, creating chaos among the Russian ranks as it tore through the battlefield. Nazi soldier 1946. For his personal regiment of Nazi soldiers, Deathshed has handpicked the most loyal and fearsome combatants the welcomist has to offer. As a part of the elite force, Deathshed soldiers are promised high-ranking positions in the Nazi party once the war is over. Kampfhund 1946, one of Deathshed's pet projects. The Kampfhund is a German shepherd that has been pumped full of chemicals and wrapped in steel body armor. It is fiercely aggressive and has a vicious bite. Yeah, it's not the dog's fault. The dog didn't do anything wrong. Fucking hell, of course Deathshed's the fucked up person that decided, like, poor Bubba. Prompts Wyatt III. Wyatt was pursuing a degree in international affairs at Harvard College when he, to his father's dismay, decided to join the war effort. Prompted by his moral conviction and unyielding idealism, Wyatt talked his way into the Army Airmen at the tender age of 17. His father, however, remained deeply disappointed in him. Though his blue-eyed naivety can be a burden, his positive outlook on life keeps him fighting to right the wrongs of the world. Commander 1946. The Nazi commander in General Deathshed's regiment, pencil pushers with a sadistic streak. They rather avoid getting in the line of fire, but are forced into action in order to get a promotion from their general. The radio headset attached to their peaked caps allows them to call for backup. Best way to deal with commander is to take them out silently before they sound an alarm. Super Sultan 1946. The Super Soldaten is a new breed of super soldier engineered by the General Deathshead himself. They are created from human subjects after going through chemical therapy. Their bodies are surgically enhanced with steel and cybernetics and encased in bulletproof armor. To purify the human subject's killer instinct, its brain is disintegrated into a more primitive state, making them erratic and extremely violent. I like to think that while you're doing this in the main game, well, I like to think that it's like while you're in the middle of this game, like Deathshed, like in some timeline, he's a brilliant Nazi scientist, but also fucking stupid, where he still gives them their humanity, so they end up still regaining their sentience and beating the shit out of the Nazis from the inside. It seems that I have fucked up. Death Shed's Commando. Death Shed's Commando is an elite member of the Nazi army. They are famous for being effective, brutal, and merciless. Commando recruits are trained under the harshest of conditions in the Siberian training camps close to the degraded or dreaded gulags. Drone. The WESPE drone is a unmanned combat aircraft controlled by a basic AI unit. It was developed in the late 40s by Dr. Ludwig Wald, one of Germany's top radio engineers. As a way to effectively survey large areas of Nazi-controlled cities from above without requiring a human component, since then it has been enhanced with numerous abilities such as power-efficient laser cannons and ramjet engines. Even though Commandeer 1960. Even though their combat skills may be limited, Nazi Commandeer are essential for coordinating tactical reinforcement. Though their communication headset, they can radio for reinforcement and will continue to do so until they're dead. Damn. Keller. Born in Strasbourg, France, Friedrich Keller's childhood was defined by domestic abuse and poverty. When Germany invaded France, Keller's father joined the resistance. Tired of living in poverty, Keller went to the local SS office and informed the Nazi of his father's tie to the resistance. His family was rounded up and sent to Auschwitz, but Keller was taken under the wing of the notorious General Wilhelm Strauss, whom he had served ever since. Keller views General Strauss as his surrogate father. Anya's grandpa, Roman Targonsky, grew up in the southwest of Poland in the Sultan Mountains. The eldest of 5 brothers and 4 sisters. His father was... Golly, your great-grandmother must be a fucking MILF. Golly, taking that many poundings. The fucking childbearing hips on that bitch must have been... His father was a goat farmer, and when he passed on, Roman decided to pick up the torch. Even though he is deeply religious, the only moral rule he follows is one passed down to him by his father. Treat others as you would want to be treated. Anya's grandma. Raised in a poor area of Warsaw with her father and 5 siblings, Olenka despises the city life. To her, being close to nature is as vital as breathing. Olenka is spirited and sociable, always eager to provide guests with something to eat or drink, and maybe a drinking glass of vodka for the man if someone declined. Wait, what? Spirited and sociable, always eager to provide guests with something to eat or to drink, and maybe a drinking glass of vodka for the man. If someone declines, she gives it to them anyway. This is the equivalent of like having a grandma like, no grandma, I'm full. There's still shit on your plate. Oh, no grandma, I'm full. I can't eat anymore. Pulls out a gun. You best start eating. Your plates are getting full. Yes grandma, I'm actually real hungry. Kampf HUD 1960. Is the big boy yawning? What a big boy. Are you yawning? Are you a yawny baby? Are you yawning? Look at him. He's a big yawner. He's a yawny baby. He's yawning. After the war, General Deathshed enhanced the Kampf's design by creating a mechanized exoskeleton suit for its body and grafting a set of titanium jaws to its face. This beast of war is capable of biting through even the thickest of body armor. And I'm perfectly fine by just stabbing it in the neck. Wait, so does that mean it's not just all mechanical, it's still like fleshy underneath? Guard robot. The development of advanced mechanized war units was one of General Deathshed's major contributions to winning the war. When the war was over, many of these units were redesigned to function as guard units that could be easily transported to where they were needed. Frau Ingel, a leading figure behind Bud Destroyer Module, League of German Girls, the girls' wing of the Nazi Party's youth movement, Frau Ingel has dedicated her life to the Nazi cause, having done her duty raising 6, according to her definition, Aryan children to serve the fatherland and exhibiting steadfast loyalty to the Nazi Party. She quickly rose up the ranks. So she got them birth-giving hips. Fucking hell. Giving me really conflicting feelings here. Anya Olwa, born to Polish doctors and intellectuals, Anya was well on her way to a doctorate in archaeology. The war, however, forced her to abandon her academic pursuits, stepping up to help with the family trade of running a mental asylum. She served as the head nurse and caregiver of the afflicted before the Nazis came and shut the facility down. You ever... I can't really explain it, but it's like every time I hear like the name Anya, my brain just flashes to Anya Forger. Panzerhut 1960. The Panzerhut 1960 is the evolution of the first prototype created by General Deathshed during the war, and envisioned by the General is one of his fevered visionary dreams. It is a super effective murder machine encased in titanium steel armor and fitted sorry if I sound weird, I was trying to get like hair out of my lips but I couldn't find it, and fitted with bone crushing metal jaws that can cut through the thickest of body armor. Ain't that just the same as the first one? So this is the modified one. Prison guard melee. That clearly isn't melee, that's a fucking gun, mate. Prison guards are employed based on how they score on a personality test. Sadistic tendencies and impaired empathetic capabilities are usually favored to fit in with the working environments of Germania's correctional facility. Prison guards are equipped with batons or assault rifles and are quite capable in both melee and range combat. I disagree. Riot guards. Prison riots are occurrences in Germania's correctional facility. When they do happen, special riot guard units are deployed to deal with the situation. Riot guards are equipped with gas masks and assault rifles and fitted with thick body armor. They always use whatever means necessary according to the FTA, the Fair Treatment Act, to put a stop to their riot. B.J. Blazkowicz, 1960. After spending the last 14 years in a vegetative state, B.J. comes back to a world ruled by the Nazis, but there's still hope. Hidden away in the center of Berlin is a small resistance group led by B.J.'s old friend, Caroline Becker. B.J. joins the group, hoping that together they can liberate the world from the Nazis. I don't remember Caroline. Caroline in wheelchair. Sorry. Born and raised before the war in the German city of whatever. Caroline Becker was left orphaned when the Nazis killed her father. The incident served to strengthen her hatred against the Nazi oppression, and she emerged as the leader of the premier resistance movement in Germany. Is AU Circle. Sometime during the war, she was shot through the spine by the notorious Nazi enforcer Hans Gross. The injury left her body paralyzed from the waist down, but her spirit remains unbroken. Bobby Brim. Bobby Brim used to own a baker's shop in southeast London. During the Blitz, the baker's shop was hit by a German bomb, but fortunately, Bobby was out on an errand that day. The next week, Bobby was drafted into the army. He kissed his wife goodbye and was shipped out to the continent. Years later, he would visit her grave in Nazi-occupied London. The only thing that has kept him from falling apart during the dark post-war years has been the work he's done for the Krez is AU Circle. Oh, that's the note. Aww. Air Force Commander. Commander. In the Nazi Air Force are often cowardly paper pushers who get promoted because they had the right connections. They carry handguns and try to stay behind other soldiers as much as they can. The radio headset attached to their peak caps allow them to call for backup. Best way to deal with Air Force commanders. Commanders? Commanders. Is that right? Commanders? Commanders. Fuck. However you pronounce it, is to take them out silently before they sound the alarm. Air Force Soldier. Air Force Soldier. Air Force grunts are fearless and skilled combatants who are equipped with assault rifles and shotguns. Individuals are carefully selected to ensure that the proud Air Force of Germania consists of only the most dedicated and pure blood. Heavy Robot. Oh, that's rude. Big Bubba ain't that heavy. Just got a lot of... Wait. I was going to say meat on their bones, but they don't have meat, nor do they have bones. These are heavy-class military-grade robots, the state-of-the-art in the field of advanced mechanized unit design. These bad boys carry super laser cannons and have a protective layer of hard steel. Big bad boys, huh? How bad can you be? Klaus Kreutz. Klaus Kreutz was a card-carrying Nazi member and was making a living as an army officer before the war broke out. When his family was killed by the secret police, Claus decided he would fight back and destroy the Nazis. Though his underground network connection, he came into contact with Caroline Beaker, who persuaded him to join the Krez is AU Circle. Max Haas. Oh, okay. There's not much to know about Max except his name and that he doesn't like violence. He was found by Claus hiding behind some dumpsters in the alley. Claus has taken care of Max ever since. Here, Forest. Here, Forest is the result of Nazis' cold sense of practicability applied to forced labor camp management. This terrifying robot guard is used for the variety of tasks inside the camp beyond discouraging prisoners from trying to escape. Bombardment. Bombardment was raised on the streets of Windhoek, Namibia. As the Nazis began conquering more and more of the African continent, Bombardment traveled north to fight them. After 2 years of leading successful counterattacks on the invading army, Bombardment was captured and imprisoned in a forced labor camp. For a second, I thought that said Seth Rogen. Set Roth. To the outside of the world, Set Roth lived as a watchmaker in Stuttgart, Germany, but secretly he was a member of Yachid, performing amazing research in the variety of scientific fields. He managed to hide for many years when the Nazis took control, but eventually they caught up with him and shipped him off to the labor camps. Supersoldaten, 1960. Several generations later, the Supersoldaten has evolved into a state-of-the-art war machine. Their engineered bodies are covered by a shiny layer of titanium, steel alloy, and usually wield super laser cannons. Navy soldier. Infantry units specializing in marine warfare carries standard equipment and light armor. Fire trooper. Heavily armored elite infantry units carrying shotguns loaded with special ricochet shrapnel. Captain. U-boat captain of the Wretch are tough as nail war veteran who would rather go down with their ship than surrender to the enemy. BJ diving suit. So I keep thinking, every time I think of BJ, I keep thinking his name is just Blowjob. The diving suit found on Nazi U-boats are made to withstand extremely high underwater pressure. It has a large oxygen tank which lasts for several hours. I have a question now. So if you like suck and blow with a BJ, right? What do you do with the when you're going down on a chick? What is the reversal, right? So if you blow a guy, do you suck a girl? That's a good question. Do you just vacuum that chick or just slurp it up like you're eating noodles? Gross. Rocket trooper, heavily armored elite infantry units carrying assault rifles with a rocket launcher attachment. the chief scientist. The chief scientist was appointed by General Deathshed to oversee the expansion of the Moon Base 1. Previously, he has served as his assistant chief researcher at the Baltic Coast Compound. Space Marine. Only the very best soldiers get promoted to the Wretch Space Marines, because conflict situations in space are so rare. Space Marine recruits are required to have many years of experience with real combat scenarios. Low gravity combat training takes place on a recently built military space station orbiting Earth. Space troopers, heavily armored elite infantry units carrying laser rifles. Space troopers are picked from the very best and most experienced of the lower ranking Space Marines. Doesn't those help with like oxygen? Why do they have like helmets and these ones don't? Like their earthbound counterparts, space commanders contribute little to actual combat situations. Instead, they lead relatively comfortable and wealthy lives closer to the higher seats of power. Space drones. Space drones have been adapted for low-gravity combat situations. They share many of the same features as the drones working in the mines of the moon. Space scientists. Because of the dangers associated with isolation, the scientists on Moon Base 1 work in shifts between 6 months up to a year before being given time off. Hello, big boy. The London Monitor. Just imagine, right? You look up to this giant thing and like... Suck my fucking pussy, you metallic monstrosity. And it just slowly looks down at you, right? And then it like goes to you like speak, and it like out of everything it could say, it just goes, well, at least house goods. But like it has like a German accent, which I guess it kind of kills the joke, but you get what I mean. Friar Ingel. After extensive surgery, a team of medical experts overseen by Deathshed himself managed to recreate most of Friar Ingel's face, but the scars will remain forever. Oh, so I didn't know they fixed the face. Caroline Power Armor. The Power Armor is a exoskeleton suit that has a neural interface which enables its wearer to walk even if they are paralyzed. Deathshed. General Wilhelm Deathshed Strass, a gifted and devoted researcher, is the head of the SS Special Projects Division. Utterly devoid of any moral scruples, the general's experiments in new technology gave the Nazis war machine the edge it needed to win the war, and forced the world into submission during the war. Deathshed almost perished in a Zeppelin crash. This near-death experience gave him a fresh outlook on life, and he loves every minute of it. Booby. Hans Winkels, or Booby as he's affectionately called by Friar Ingels, comes from a family of academics. His father is a doctor and his mother is a biologist. As a child, his failing grades and lack of ambition were very disappointing to his parents. The disappointment only deepened when he was employed at Camp Belika at the age 19. The son they had envisioned having a prestigious career in academics had become a common prison guard. This young boy soon caught the attention of the manipulative Frau Ingalls, eager for affection and appreciation. He has been by her side ever since. It's so conflicted because a part of me wants to say, oh, but he's a fucking Nazi, so it's, Prototype robot. The next evolution in Deathshed's line of mechanized robot combat units, the prototype robot has a central unit consisting of a human brain interfacing with a machine, making it superior to other robots powered by a less advanced artificial intelligence. Oh, so this is the Mecha Deathshed. In his personal collection of trumps, General Deathshed ranks the construction of his own mechanized combat unit as one of the highest. It is equipped with 4 laser chain guns and a Tesla cannon. A deflection force field protects the unit, making it nearly indestructible. Only when there's actual, like, lightning. This is like in order? I think it might be. Just this and then, you know, we're done with Wolfenstein. Allied planes. The Royal Air Force of the United States Army Air Force, under the command of the OSA, joined together for the assault on Deathshed's compound. Hundreds of military transport planes carry both troops and war supplies, were flanking by fast fighters from the RAF and the USAAF for protection against enemy planes. Assault on Baker Shore. The assault on Baker Shore is a last desperate attempt by the OSA to bring down the infamous General Wilhelm Strass, aka Deathshed, who, according to the sources within the Nazi Party, is the mastermind behind the German army's recent technological leap. The Wall. The heart of Deathshed's operation lies inside an old medieval castle on the Baltic coast of Germany. Close to the Polish border, Deathshed has been working on modernizing and expanding the castle. The control mechanism for raising the old castle gate, which is a traditional medieval portcullis, is located in the part of the castle that is difficult to reach. This is part of the reason why Deathshed has ordered for the expansion of the modernization of the compound. Old corridors. The castle was built on Perusia by the Teutonic Knights. It was completed in the beginning of the 15th century and used as a fortress for Crusaders before they lost control to King Casimir IV Jagiellon. At the end of the 15th century, the castle was also briefly occupied by Swedish forces during the 30 Years' War. Crashed plane. A military transport prototype. This type of aircraft can carry up to 30 troops. For the assault on Baker Shore, the desperate Allied forces have developed almost all of their remaining military transports aircraft. Incinerator Room. Deathshed's laboratory is located deep inside the compound. This is a place where the dreaded general performs his most terrifying experiments. It is fully equipped with automated incineration and cleanup system which easily remove any tissue, organs, blood, or other bodily fluids left by a test subject. Any other fluids, you say? Sorry, my brain went horny-word for a second. I apologize. It probably will happen again. I'll try and keep that intact. Asylum interior. The is a Polish asylum established by Dr. Olwa in 1824. It has been run by the Olwa family for 3 generations. At the end of World War II, administrative control of the asylum fell under Nazi authority. The current superintendent, Dr. Olwa, can only helplessly watch as the notorious General Deathshed's men come to claim the asylum patients for the General's own dark devotions. Oh, there's before I end stream, right? I like to share some more information about Wolfenstein, Charlotte, right? Where the timeline kind of deters a bit, where rather than, you know, killing the main characters off there, Charlotte would then be, you know, he's like, oh, you're a fine specimen, right? He would then not, I don't want to say torture, but that's basically what it is, would torture and do horrid experiments on Charlotte's like skin, nervous system, muscles, and shit like that. And that's how her, like, rather than being born with a tail, it's I wouldn't say artificial, but it's not organic, even though like it feels like something off an animal or whatever, right? It's not natural. She wasn't born with the tail, right? And just months and months of experiment, like her slowly kind of her mind is breaking a bit, as well as her spirit, right? With the dead look in her eye, right? And until Fergus somehow snuck out, got the rest of the people, right? And then, you know, reassured and helped Charlotte to like bring her spirit back up, even though it was a bit difficult to walk with this massive, heavy fucking, like, massive, it is like, she can learn to like lift it and wag it around like a normal like a animal of some sort. But if someone else is like you know, if someone else is like trying to lift it with its bare hands, like it would be the size, like the weight of like some sort of, like, let's say the weight of some sort of bear, shark, whatever, like where they would strain their muscles even trying to like lift it, right? But she can lift it because it's experimented into her nervous system, so she can use it like an extra hand. So I just think that would be like more interesting information of where her tail come from compared to other variants of Charlotte where they're just born with it, or they just have it, where this one is more artificial, where it's like her tail can feel like different things to different people, right? It could feel like, you know, like how you pat a dog that has silky fur and it's just like, I don't know how to say, like that satisfying feeling of like the silk where it's not rough or whatever, it's like just clean. Sometimes it could feel like that. Sometimes it could just feel like a lizard, smooth scale. It could feel different to different people depending on how she feels, right? But even though, you know, Charlotte may have a lot of control over her tail, she can't control how it feels. So it's more like randomized. Asylum exterior. The Ulwa Asylum is stationed or situated close to the Baltic coast, not far from Death's Edge compound. The serene rural surrounding might sorry, I'm trying not to pick my nails. Very bad habit I'm trying to break. Surreal surrounding, making a perfect retreat for patients with mental afflictions. There's a narrow trail leading from the asylum down to the short strip of beach, perfect for the occasional summer outings. Basement. Anya's grandparents, Roman and Olenka, lead a scheduled mountain life together in a small farmhouse north of Matawiz. Close to the German border during the war, they took in a Jewish family and gave them shelter to hide them from the Nazi death patrol. Roman dug a hole in the basement and kept them hidden beneath the floorboards. The family stayed for 2 weeks before moving on up north. Well, that's nice. The Otter Bridge. After the war, work started on building a fast railway connection between Warsaw and Berlin for transporting equipment and labor resources to the newly discovered limestone quarries in the eastern part of Poland. The Otter Bridge was built where the railway crosses the Otter River, which was used to form the border between Germany and Poland. It was one of the first bridges built using super concrete. I keep thinking, like, I know it's otter, but I keep thinking of the animal otters, you know? Train to Berlin. The Espenfil is a luxurious passenger train service traveling from the bustling capital of Eastern Europe, Warsaw, through the heart of German Empire, Berlin and Zagreb. In annexed Croatia, built in 1953, it is the fastest train in Europe capable of reaching speeds of 200 km/h. Its fine dining restaurant car has been continuously listed in the Berlin's food guide since it was established. Is like, I know Berlin is a real place, like, but are these like made up, or are they actual places? I'm only saying that because this is based on a distant dystopian future where the Nazis won, right? So I'm just asking, right? Are these actual other real places? Secret police headquarters. How is it secret? I can see it from fucking 200 miles away. Even if I can't see the swastika, I can see the fucking colors. You're not secret. To facilitate a society that adheres to the principles of the Nazi ideology, the secret police of Berlin is an essential part of everyday life in Berlin. Their presence is at once more omnipresent and invisible. The citizens of Berlin know that their every move is being watched, and having been indoctrinated for over a decade that it is for their own good, most of them are peacefully fine with this. The secret police headquarters is located just a few blocks from the Volksschule of Berlin. The coal loader room. I thought that said cool. Coal is one of several energy sources used to power a massive Elsenwald prison. Tons of coal are transported each day into the coal loader room via the expensive, newly built Berlin Underground system. No one dares to protest against the black smoke pumping out of the facility and polluting the surrounding neighborhoods. So you're saying that you have this dystopian future, all this tech and shit, right? All this mechanical bullshit, to terrify the citizens, and you can't think of another fucking source other than fucking coal? Does that mean Nazi Santa Claus exists, or? Sorry, I just thought of something really fucked up. It's like Nazi Santa Claus, right? It's like, if you've been a good boy and girl, you get presents for everyone. But if you've been a bad boy and girl, you get eternal hell and damnation eternal hellfire and damnation if you've been a bad boy. It's just like threatening your children of eternal damnation and hellfire if you've been a bad kid for Nazi Santa Claus. Elsenwald Prison. As the most notorious prison in Berlin, Elsenwald holds not only a hardcore criminals, but also the more subversive elements that still exist in the city. According to the authorities, there has never been a successful escape attempted since its opening in 1949. Zellenblock B. The B block is where the Nazis incarcerate political prisoners and resistance fighters. The block has been outfitted with special torture chambers where the secret police regularly interrogate the prisoners. What the fuck is that? Prez is a U exterior. That's a place? I thought that was a name. What the fuck? The Monument of Truth were commissioned by Adolf Hitler to celebrate, in his own words, the spirit of the people which led this great nation to victory. An annual parade is held each fall which crosses the bridge that was built between the two statues of the monument. This parade street continues all the way up to the entrance of the Volksschale. Sorry, it's just this whole thing has Nazis and shit, and the only notification of a Hitler being, in this game is a fucking mask and a concept art. Yes, oh yeah, this is Adolf Hitler was a character in Wolfenstein, but was scrapped in the concept stages, so he does not exist in the fucking Wolfenstein because he was a concept art, but then scrapped him for Max Haas. Krez is a U interior. Oh, okay, that's the main base. During the last decade, the Krez is a U circle had managed to stay hidden inside the Monuments of Truth in the center of Berlin. It was a bold move by Caroline, the leader of the circle, but one that seems to have paid off. Inside the monument, the circle members can reach numerous access routes to the Berlin underground. They also hooked up surveillance devices to the Nazi communication line to gain valuable classified information. London Nautica. Just Subnautica, but Nazi, like fish and shit. The fucking sea is red rather than blue. London was one of the last of the big cities to fall. After relentless fighting, the people of London were beaten into submission. The Nazi leveled much of the central area of the city, poured asphalt over it, and erected a monumental building in its place. the London Nautica. The Nautica was created for advanced research in aviation and robotics technology. It is one of the most well-guarded buildings in Germania. Wait, okay. They leveled Big Ben for this piece of shit. Oh, that's triggering my fear of heights. That's fucking me up. The Moon Dome. The Moon Dome was built to showcase the Nazis' expansion into space. It is a topographically correct replica of the moon spinning in the middle, and on the surface of the moon is a miniatured model of the Nazi lunar base. Oh, base? I just thought that was a fucking moon, mate. Artifact. Artifact found in the London Nautica Laboratory for Reverse Engineering. Oh, so that's the thingy I got. Artifact found in the London Nautica Laboratory for Reverse Engineering. Artifact found in London Nautica Laboratory for Reverse Engineering. God damn, pardon me. Artifact found in London Nautica Laboratory for Reverse Engineering. A artifact found in London Nautica Laboratory for Reverse Engineering. The laboratory, hidden away on the upper levels of the London Nautica. The laboratory is the Nazis' best kept secret. It's a vault for safekeeping ancient mystic parchments, as well as the lab for designing and testing new prototypes of incredibly advanced technology. Hangar entrance. There is a secret gate hidden in the River Spree wall near the city's center. A tunnel leads from a gate to the Krez is AU Circle's hangar beneath the Monuments of Truth. The tunnel is the remnant of the old construction project that was abandoned and forgotten. During the night, the Krez is AU Circle used this gate to transport large objects and vehicles into their hideout. The Krez is AU hangar. The hangar beneath Krez is AU HQ is a section of wastewater treatment plant, which was abandoned before construction work was finished. Now it is used by the Krez is AU Circle for storing stolen cargo, vehicles, and other large objects of the Krez is AU Circle. Need to store away somewhere safe. Camp Balaka. Near the end of the war, Fuhrer Engel assumed command of forced labor camp Balaka, a dark place where she runs the day-to-day operations with an iron fist. What does that mean, with an iron fist? I don't think I've ever met anyone with iron fists. Besides Marvel characters. The sewers. The old sewer tunnel beneath Berlin have been neglected for years. The Krez is AU Circle had used it to gain access to different parts of the city. Water wheel. Broken down and dialect machinery like this water pumping system is not unusual in these parts of the Berlin sewers. Torpedo room. One of the key elements in the Nazi naval warfare was the deployment of highly advanced U-boats, equipped with torpedoes that could destroy even the biggest Allied ships in one hit. They quickly took control of the seas and eventually the world. U-boat. By reverse engineering the invention found in one of the secret depositories, the Nazis were able to harness the power of nuclear energy. At first, they used this knowledge to create the atom bomb which destroyed New York. Then they started using it for other technological advancements, such as the creation of a nuclear-powered U-boat. Chamber. Having managed to stay hidden from the outside world for centuries, the underwater stashes contain an incredible wealth of technology almost alien to the rest of the world. Deliberator Bridge. The Deliberator Bridge was constructed in 1957. Its purpose was to create a shortcut for the supply of military personnel and vehicles heading for the Southern African front. Bridge close-up. The bridge is mostly used by military traffic, but a few members of the upper echelons of Nazi society crossed the bridge every year for vacation or business trips. Lunar Base. The lunar base was first built in 1955 or 1956. It is located in the ancient impact crater known as the Glimmer Bowl. Lunar Base. An ever-evolving complex populated by military personnel, miners and industrial workers, and scientists. The lunar base is projected to have reached the size of a small city within 4 years. Hangar Bay. There have been surprisingly few accidents since the lunar base project was initiated. Last year's Hangar Bay shuttle crash claimed 14 lives, increased the total death count to 69, compared to the thousands of people who died during the construction of Deliberator Bridge. This is relatively a small number. Decontamination Block D7. The lunar base is a testing site for advanced technological research. Because of the sensitive materials involved in this research, the automated decontamination block are used for cleaning and preparing new test subject. Shuttle crash. The London Nautica is the space hub of the world. Passenger flights leave for the moon twice every month. To access the space flight, passengers travel in a several-story tall glass elevator that goes up along the east wall of the Nautica all the way to the top. VIP passengers are served champagne and caviar before stepping onto the elevator. You know what I don't understand about it? So you're saying that it's a thing that you connected the moon. This is the shit from Sonic Colors. That you connected the shit from the moon to Earth, right? And it's connected, right? But the thing is, the moon doesn't the moon or like the Earth go in separate directions? Because what I'm thinking is, if they're connected and they're going in the same direction, there's still other debris, right? There's all fucking satellites and shit, right? And like other shit in space that could like break the elevator and people get sucked. Just get sucked into space. Like, just like, oh yeah, champagne. Is that rock getting a little bit close? Nah, it couldn't be. So anyway, I'm just saying, like, it doesn't really add up. Snowy London. London has snow? For the many poor people of Nazi-occupied London, winter is a grueling, dangerous time. The lower class, quarantine blocks, lack both electricity and running water, which leads to poor hygiene among the block dwellers and the spreading of highly infectious and deadly diseases. Deathshed's compound. When the war was over, Deathshed was able to finish the construction of his compound in peace. This is the central nervous system of the Nazi war machine, a vast complex built for the sole purpose of realizing Deathshed's perverted technological dreams. Okay. I'll add to the playlist. I'll read these, alright? When Die Kafar was formed by 4 Englishmen from Liverpool in Nazi-controlled Great Britain, they were faced with a choice: either start singing in German or face banning and detainment by the Nazi regime. Die Kafar chose to adapt to the times. They changed their name and learned how to sing in German. Currently, they are touring Europe to promote their latest Das Blue U-Boot album. Rumor has it that they laced their innocuous pop music with hidden code which subvert the original meaning of the lyrics. The Mound recording isn't just for those zany kids. Our family of artists also include Germania's greatest performers of our people's music, the kind of music Opa and Oma would like. The jewels of our crowns is Wilbert Eckhart and his Volksmasken All-Stars, from polka and waltzy to Borschkeiser and Machis. They represent the fatherland at its finest, beers, brats, and the German way of life. From the classic you grew up with today's pop hits interpreted into pure German tradition. Wilbert Eckhart and his Volksmasken All-Stars have something for everyone. I'm probably gonna end stream, but I'll listen to this and then I'll delete it and find something else. I'll probably play that potion maker game. That looked really interesting, and I don't really have any other game that interests me at the moment, so I believe this is it. I'll probably come back in the future to do the Wyatt timeline. Just let me add this to the playlist.